So I've kindly been sent this product by 8balldirect.com, and this is the Smart Rack, and they've asked me if I can make a review of this product, which is a two-sided triangle. And you can see here, if I open this up, you've got the two sides of the triangle but without the bottom side. Now the idea of this sort of triangle is that because you have no bottom edge, they're easy to move away from the balls and you don't disturb the rack. This product is made of aluminium, and then you've got this transfer here of the logo on the top with this sort of brushed steel effect, which makes it look quite smart. With it being aluminium, it's quite light, but at the same time it still feels quite sturdy and a quality product. And then you have this hinge at the top, which is a stop hinge, so basically it opens to a maximum point which gives the perfect angle for the triangle, so it won't go any further than that. And then at this end there's a magnet, so when you put these two pieces together they clip together, stops it flapping around, and holds it nice and tight together. Then also you've got these plastic caps on the end here which have got an angle to them so that they fit nicely underneath the cushion, so when it's opened up, slots in nicely there under the cushion. It's quite thin and flat as well, and they also give you a little Velcro strap, so you can strap that around your case and take it with you if you're going out for practice and you want to take your own rack with you, which is quite handy. Generally it looks smart, it feels solid and well made. It's fairly easy to use. I'll go into more detail about how to use it, but I've had no problems using it at all. I like the look of it. It does store nicely inside the ball return at the bottom of the table, which is quite handy. My other solid triangles that I have hanging on the end of the table, this one can be tucked away, which is quite good. So we'll have a little look at how to use this, how to set the balls up, and then I'll give you a few more of my thoughts at the end. So when it comes to actually using the rack, if you've got a racking cloth, and put that down first, and then you open up the rack, and then using these angled edges, just tuck it nicely up against the cushion, and then it's just a case of placing the balls in the rack. And then you've got a couple of ways of positioning this. So if we just slide this forward off the rack, off the cloth, if you take out the black ball, then you can slide this forward and position the hole over the black spot. Get that nice and straight. Drop the black ball into the middle, and then just apply gentle pressure to the sides and with your fingers at the back just to pull all the balls nice and tightly together. And then because there's nothing at the back, we can just slide this forward and we don't move any of the balls, and there's no disturbance to the rack, everything stays nice and tight. One of the issues with doing that is if you have a gap in the middle, and you get this with regular triangles as well, people will drop the ball into there, even if they're doing it gently. You do that repeatedly over and over again, you're going to get a bit of an indent in your table on that spot. So the other option they give you is they also provide you with a table marking guide. Now my only slight issue with this is that it's on a piece of paper, which if I put this on the table, I'm not sure how I'm actually supposed to mark the table. I'd have to make some cuts in it or something, but to be honest it doesn't really matter because you can just use the measurements off here anyway. And what it says here is that if you put a mark 3.5 inches back from the black spot, you can then create another line which they call the easy rack line, and I'll show you how that works. So if you just use a ruler and measure 3.5 inches back from the black spot, Just make a little line on your table there. We can use that line instead. So instead of taking the black out, just take the last yellow out, slide the balls forward until that line is between the back two balls here, and then we can just roll that last ball into position. So we're not dropping anything down, which is quite a good solution. You know you're in the same position. Again, just squeeze the balls nice and tight, and then just a little bit of movement on the front ball there, which sometimes get with divots and stuff in the table. And then just slide that forward. We're not moving anything. And we've got a nice tight rack from there. So there's two options there for how you line that up. And I think that's quite a good solution, moving that back ball into position. So this is designed specifically for 2-inch 8-ball pool balls. It's made in the UK and it retails for $34.99, and you can purchase it off their website, which is 8balldirect.com. In summary, I would say this rack is pretty much as its name describes. It's a very smart looking thing. It certainly has a premium look to it and feel to it. It's well made. And it does the job. Two-sided racks obviously have this selling point of being able to move them away without disturbing the rack, which is a very clever idea and makes perfect sense that you're not moving the balls as you move the rack away, and this does this perfectly. I would say the things I like on this particular brand that make it stand out a little bit are the magnetic clip that holds it together, and the angled ends that tuck under the cushion. They're a nice feature. Personally, I don't take a rack out with me when I go out, but the fact that it's compact and can be strapped to the cue case is a nice little feature for anyone that does want to do that, and I think that's a nice little extra. If I had one slight criticism of it, and this is probably more due to the fact that I've got used to using a solid rack that has a wheel system on the bottom, so it glides up and down the table very easily. And I did find there's a little bit of friction as you push it forward up against the table, but that's probably more just from what I've been used to. It's a minor thing and nothing too major. Obviously, one of the most important features of a rack is that it's consistent, and this certainly delivers on that point. The racks are always tight because you're not moving any balls apart. I'm consistently getting good solid racks in testing where the balls are splitting nicely. So from that point of view, it certainly does its job. I think generally I've reviewed a few racks now and there is very little in it. Some people have got a preference of these two-sided racks, others prefer a more traditional three-sided rack. I'm not swayed too much either way. I like both, and I can see the benefits of both. This is a solid, well-made rack that does its job, and as I said, certainly looks the part and is a very smart rack. If you want to see more practice routines and pool tutorials, then please remember to subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the equipment I use in this video, then there are links in the description below.